Good morning here from Hollywood, California. It's Valerie Milano, the senior editor of the Hollywood Times, and I'm so happy to have our guest here, and I'm going to have her introduce herself. Thank you for being with
Hi.
us.
Thank you. Very, very excited to be here. Yes, my name is Katja Esson. I'm the director, producer of the documentary Raising Liberty Square.
Yes, thank you very much. This is a thought-provoking film that lays bare the injustice that poverty has forced upon the African American culture and the insensitivity of a privileged white culture that is being displaced by climate change and the rising of, the rising seas as it pushes blacks from the high ground that was not coveted in the beginning. The developers talk about revitalization for Liberty Square, but hasn't this come down to mass relocation and culture erasure in the name of development?
Yeah, that is a good question. It's a little bit this word game of what does displacement mean to different people, you know? Here the choice was given, and it still led to a max exodus. So many people call it displacement because that's the facts are that the community did, break apart, and many members moved away. So, but that is one of the key questions. What does displacement, what does it mean to different people?
The redevelopment plan ultimately has taken a neighborhood with cultural and historical meaning and turned it into just another blended community with a homogenous identity. Is it any wonder to anyone that the residents have not trusted the city to keep its word?
Yeah, we just had our actually after nearly a year of whirlwind festivals, film festivals in all over the country and also all over the world. Actually, we now just brought it back to Miami right before our national broadcast premiere, and had our hometown premiere last Saturday, not this one, the week before. And it was that was for me the most important screening that the film will ever have, with all the community there and the elders. And that's exactly what the elders said, that this film connects the dots. It shows how history keeps repeating itself. That's why people from the community are so excited about this film, because it just shows, this repetition of history very, very clearly.
Yeah, and this is a bigger story that the media seems to ignore. The Liberty City riots made headlines. Why hasn't the Liberty Square land grab found its way to the headlines?
Yeah, we're wondering that too.
Yeah, I bet.
Hopefully now with the national PBS broadcast, more people will talk about it. But yeah, there's not people in that neighborhood, in that community. Their voices don't find themselves often to mainstream media. It's like if you Google that development, everything that has been said is extremely positive. So yeah, you're asking the right question.
Yeah, no, you can't answer a lot of them, unfortunately, right now, but hopefully we can come back with you later on and have some
Yeah, and
answers.
hopefully it will change.
Yeah,
Hopefully that story will rise to the top. I mean, there's so much going on in the world right now. Also, we have to think about that. But
sure.
yeah, it is a very important story, as not only to Miami, because Miami is kind of the canary in the coal mine. What's
Yeah,
happening here. It's a cautionary tale to many other cities in 20, 30 years. So
yeah. The that thousands of residents have been displaced, as we know, especially watching this documentary. The city said they would be back, but so far only 5 families have been returned to Liberty Square. Is that correct?
Yeah, from the ones that took the vouchers, 5 have returned. And it's true. It's like, of course, the community is also urging me to do a second part to kind of follow now what's happening, because we will the development itself, Liberty Square is 9 city blocks. It's huge. Only 3 blocks still, this is where the movie ends, but still at today, only 3 have been finished. So we will really see in a couple of years, how many people will maybe come back, how many people will get lost, how will the makeup of this new community will be, how are people faring that took Section 8 vouchers? Is that going to be a disaster or successful for them? Will they be homeless?
So the reason is because the relocated are distrustful, or because the process has forced them to move on because of the rising rents. And like you said, after the Section 8 vouchers ran out, and that's a reality that has repeated itself from past efforts to rejuvenate the neighborhood.
Correct. They are in the film. We're talking about another public housing project, the Scott Carver. That was already a cautionary tale, and everybody said, this cannot be another Scott Carver. This cannot happen here. And it looks right now like it might be happen again here,
So can you answer, what does the future hold for Liberty Square in particular, and Liberty City as a whole? You really can't.
No, but I can tell you that the film now, we started our the impact campaign phase of the film, and there are amazing organizers and organizations here in Miami that are being brought together at the table now because of the film, climate organization and housing organizations that are now pushing together using the film. And, we're really hoping that the film will move people to engage in conversations about how climate and housing affects families, and to understand how climate gentrification is an existing dynamic now, but soon it will affect all of us. Also, I would like audiences to critically look at the current model of the so-called revitalization of low-income neighborhoods, which is, mixed income developments. Is that really the solution? So I hope that the film can do all that.
Yeah, I know you are. How did you get involved in the project so much?
I don't know. You can probably hear by my accent. I was born in Germany, so I'm originally from Germany. I came to Miami in '87 to study film and theater here, my big claim to fame at that time, I still was that as a beginner in the film industry, my very first job was a production assistant at 2 live cruise music videos that were filmed in Liberty City. Although at that point I didn't really know what that meant. I just had come here. My English was really bad. Little did I know that 20 years later I would go back to that neighborhood. And it coincided with Moonlight that came out. And also I was told that about this plan to erase this very historical public housing project. That was the location of Moonlight, and was one of the very first segregated public housing projects in this country, built in the 30s during the New Deal. And the European in me said, how can you just turn down this very historical place? And I picked up a camera and I started filming, and it was all about the history. And then when I talked to people and the residents, I was educated by them. By the way, we're sitting on a ridge. We're sitting on really high ground here compared to the beach. And I was educated about this new term, climate gentrification. And that's when I realized, wow, this film is about something very, very different. Yes, there's a lot of history in it still, but it's a very, very contemporary story. And that's how it started. And then I couldn't stop for 6 years.
Yeah. So how can our readers and our viewers find you, find the film? just know more about it?
Yeah, our website is the film's title, RAZING LIBERTY SQUARE.com. And I always have to say raising is this word game. It's AZ, right? Rising, raising, but it's raising to the ground. RAZINGLibertySquare.com, and social media, Raising Liberty SQ. And you mentioned it at the beginning. We're really grateful and happy and excited that we have our national broadcast premiere. It's coming up next. Well, it's on January 29th this month, at PBS, Independent Lens PBS. And we're just right now, this week, this Friday, we're launching the theatrical run here in Miami. So if anybody's listening that is in Miami, we are at the Coral Gables Art Cinema, and it runs from January 26th until February 1st, every day.
Good, good. Well, we're the HollywoodTimes.today is our website, and then our YouTube channel's the Hollywood Times Official. And we will be sending this this video with our article, with our review. So we'll be publicizing it and getting it out as soon as possible, and so people can watch the PBS Independent Lens, as well as if they're in Miami or around, to come and see it there as well. So thank you so much, Katja, for taking your time today with us, and hopefully maybe one day we'll meet you in person.
I hope so too. I appreciate it. Thank you very much.
So much. Thank
Bye.
you. Have a great rest of your day. Bye-bye.